Listen to me very carefully. What I am about to share with you will mark the dividing line between the life you have been living and the life you were destined to live. For 25 years, I studied the minds of more than 500 of America's most successful men, searching for the common thread that connected them all. What I discovered was so profound, so simple, yet so powerful that it has remained hidden from the millions who struggle daily with poverty, failure, and despair. Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller, all of them possessed a secret morning ritual that set their minds in motion toward success before their feet ever touched the floor. You wake each morning, don't you, with the same thoughts of worry, the same fears about money, the same doubts about your abilities. You rise already defeated, your mind poisoned with the limitations of yesterday. This is the poverty of mind that afflicts 98% of all people, and it is the very reason they remain chained to lives of quiet desperation. But today, right now, as you listen to these words, that chain is about to be broken forever. What would you say if I told you that the first 5 minutes after you open your eyes each morning determine whether you will succeed or fail that day? What would you think if I revealed that every great fortune, every remarkable achievement, every breakthrough in human history began not in an office or a factory, but in the quiet moments of dawn when a determined mind spoke certain words with absolute faith and conviction? The human mind is a transmitting and receiving station. When you speak words with deep emotion and faith, you send a command directly to your subconscious mind, which is connected to infinite intelligence. This is not theory, this is scientific fact, proven through decades of careful observation. Your subconscious mind does not question or doubt. It simply accepts what you tell it with feeling and begins immediately to manifest it in your physical world. Carnegie understood this. Each morning before the sun painted the sky, he would stand before his window and speak his intentions for the day with such power that his very presence commanded respect from all who met him. Edison knew this secret. Rockefeller, Ford, Schwab, they all began their days not with newspapers or idle chatter, but with deliberate, purposeful words that programmed their minds for victory. For too long you have been the victim of your own mental laziness. You have allowed your mind to run wild like an untamed horse, carrying you wherever fear and doubt wish to go. But the 11 phrases I'm about to give you are like a bridle for that wild horse. They will give you mastery over your own mind, and through that mastery, command over your entire life. These are not empty affirmations. These 11 phrases contain the concentrated essence of success philosophy, distilled from the actual practices of men who built empires from nothing, transformed entire industries, and left their mark on history. Each phrase is a key that unlocks a different door in your subconscious mind. Together they form a master key that opens the vault of unlimited achievement. The transformation requires only 2 things. First, that you speak these phrases every single morning without fail. Second, that you speak them with absolute faith and burning emotion. The words without the feeling are dead, but when you combine these words with the fire of belief, you set in motion forces that will reshape your entire existence. I am the master of my fate. Let these 6 words burn themselves into your consciousness. I once knew a man who had lost everything: his business, his savings, his confidence. He sat before me with tears in his eyes, convinced that outside forces had conspired to destroy him. I gave him only these 6 words and told him to repeat them every morning with the full force of his being. 6 months later, he returned. Not only had he recovered his losses, but he had built a fortune twice as large as before. Most people believe they are leaves blown about by the wind of circumstance. They blame the government, the economy, their family, everyone except the one person who holds all the power, themselves. But I tell you now, based on my study of the most successful minds in history, that you are not the victim of fate. You are its author. When William Ernest Henley wrote those immortal words, he was not penning poetry. He was declaring a law as immutable as gravity. Your thoughts create your circumstances. Your dominant mental attitude determines whether you attract success or failure, wealth or poverty, happiness or misery. Charles Schwab began as a day laborer in Carnegie's mills, earning $1 a day. But each morning he would stand before his modest mirror and declare with unshakable conviction that he would one day lead those very mills. He did not hope, he did not wish, he commanded his subconscious to accept this as reality. The result, he became president of U.S. Steel and earned over $1 million a year at a time when such a sum was beyond imagination. My definite chief aim guides my every action. Without a definite chief aim, you are a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the currents of life choose to carry you. Carnegie told me that 98 out of every 100 people fail in life because they never decide exactly what they want. They scatter their energies in a dozen directions and wonder why they never arrive anywhere. Edwin Barnes had no money, no connections, no special talents, but he had a burning desire backed by definiteness of purpose to become the business partner of Thomas Edison. Each morning he would stand in his shabby room and declare his intention. He did not say he hoped to work for Edison. He declared he would be Edison's partner. When Barnes finally arrived at Edison's office, Edison later said, "I gave him the opportunity because I saw he had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded. Your definite chief aim is not a wish. It is a command to your subconscious mind. I possess within me all the power I need. You have been taught to believe in limitation, to accept that you need something outside yourself to succeed. But I tell you now, based on irrefutable evidence, that you already possess within your own mind all the power necessary to achieve anything you can conceive and believe." Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling. By every external measure, he should have remained unknown. But Edison understood that he possessed access to infinite intelligence. When faced with a problem, he would sit in complete darkness and silence, affirming his connection to the source of all knowledge. More than 1,000 patents stand as monuments to his faith in the power within. Self-doubt is the great crippler of human potential. You have been told what you cannot do so many times that you have forgotten what you can. But Carnegie was right. No man is limited except by his own thoughts. When you affirm each morning that you possess within you all the power you need, you remove the barriers that block your connection to infinite intelligence. Today, I will go the extra mile in all I do. This principle has produced more millionaires than any other single factor. It is so simple that most people overlook it, so powerful that those who apply it cannot fail. Most people do only what they are paid to do, only what is required, only what they must, and then wonder why opportunity never finds them. Carnegie once asked Schwab to manage a failing steel mill that other managers could not turn around. Schwab worked not 8 hours, but 12, not because he was paid for the extra time, but because he was determined to render more service than was required. Within 1 year, that mill became the most profitable in the entire Carnegie system. Schwab's reward was a bonus of $1 million for a single year's work. The law of increasing returns governs all of nature. When you give more than is expected, you receive back more than you gave. This is not sentiment. This is mathematical law. I attract wealth through service to others. Every great fortune without exception has been built on a foundation of service. Henry Ford became one of the richest men in the world, not by exploiting others, but by serving them. His obsession was not with profit, but with providing affordable transportation to the millions. He revolutionarily slashed production costs so more people could own an automobile. The fortune that flowed to him was the natural result of the service he rendered. Money is nothing more than a symbol of service rendered. It flows to those who provide genuine value and away from those who seek only to take. You cannot violate this law without suffering the consequences. When you affirm each morning that you attract wealth through service, you align yourself with this universal principle. Your subconscious mind begins to generate opportunities to serve. You develop a service consciousness, an awareness of how you can add value in every situation. This consciousness is magnetic. It draws people to you and opens doors that were previously locked. I transform every failure into a stepping stone. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is not consolation. This is proven fact. Abraham Lincoln failed in business at 21, was defeated for legislature at 22, failed in business again at 24, lost his sweetheart at 26, suffered a breakdown at 27, and faced defeat after defeat for the next 2 decades. At 52, he became President of the United States and preserved the Union. Every failure had been preparing him, strengthening him, teaching him the lessons he would need for his ultimate purpose. Edison failed over 10,000 times in his effort to produce the electric light. When a reporter asked how it felt to fail so often, he replied, "I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that will not work." Each failure was a stepping stone because he refused to interpret it as anything else. Your subconscious mind has the miraculous ability to transform any experience into an asset. When you affirm each morning that you transform every failure into a stepping stone, you program your mind to find the lesson, the opportunity, the hidden benefit in every setback. I am building my success with patience and persistence. All enduring success is built gradually, methodically, persistently over time. There are no shortcuts, no overnight transformations. James J. Hill spent 20 years building his railroad empire. 2 decades of laying track through wilderness, facing financial ruin repeatedly, enduring the mockery of those who called his project a folly. But Hill persisted when others would have quit. The Great Northern Railway became one of the most successful transportation systems in America. Patience is not passive. It is the active, deliberate, sustained application of effort over time. And persistence is the quality that makes all other qualities effective. Without it, talent is wasted. Education is meaningless. An opportunity is squandered. Calvin Coolidge said it best. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Genius will not. Education will not. Persistence and determination alone are supreme. My mind is closed to all negative influences. Your mind is like a garden that will grow whatever seeds are planted in it. The world is full of people who will tell you what you cannot do. They failed, so they believe you must fail. They accepted limitation, so they try to impose it on you. When Marconi announced his idea for wireless communication, his friends were so convinced he had lost his mind that they tried to have him committed to an asylum. But Marconi closed his mind to their doubts, persisted in his experiments, and today the entire world communicates wirelessly. Ford faced constant ridicule. Engineers proved his automobile was impossible. Financial experts demonstrated he would bankrupt himself. But Ford had developed the mental discipline to shut out all voices except the one within him that said, "It can be done." Negative thoughts are contagious. When you associate with negative people, when you allow their fears and complaints to enter your consciousness, you become infected. This is why you must guard your mental gates as carefully as you guard your home against intruders. Replace every negative thought with a positive one. You cannot simply resist darkness. You must turn on the light. I give thanks for this day and its opportunities. Gratitude is not merely a pleasant feeling. It is a magnetic force that attracts more of what you appreciate. Rockefeller began every day with thanksgiving, even when he was a struggling bookkeeper earning less than $1 a day. He gave thanks for his health, his job, his opportunity to learn. This attitude attracted to him the people and circumstances that helped him build Standard Oil. What you focus on with emotion expands. When you focus on lack, you attract more lack. When you focus on abundance, you attract more abundance. The ungrateful person lives in a prison of their own making, surrounded by blessings they cannot see, opportunities they cannot recognize. But the grateful person lives in an ever-expanding universe of possibility. I act with decision and courage today. Indecision and procrastination have destroyed more opportunities than all other causes combined. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Napoleon attributed his military genius to one thing alone. I make decisions 2 hours before my generals believe they need to be made. Cortez, upon landing in Mexico, burned his ships. His men had only 2 choices, victory or death. No retreat, no second thoughts. This single decisive act transformed ordinary soldiers into conquerors. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Every person who has achieved anything worthwhile has felt fear. The difference is that they acted anyway. I am becoming the person I was meant to be. Every person born into this world carries unique gifts and capacities meant to be developed and expressed. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery, but refused to let circumstance define his destiny. He educated himself, refined his character, expanded his capabilities daily, and became one of the most influential leaders of his age, not because circumstances favored him, but because he was committed without compromise to becoming who he was meant to be. Benjamin Franklin created a system of 13 virtues and worked on one each week, examining himself daily, resolving to improve. This devotion to continuous growth transformed a printer's apprentice into inventor, diplomat, philosopher, scientist, and founding father. Small daily improvements compound into dramatic transformation. The person you will be tomorrow is being constructed by what you choose to do today. Now let me share the sacred ritual that will transform these 11 phrases from mere words into living forces. Rise each morning at least 30 minutes before your day demands begin. Find a private place where you will not be disturbed. Stand before a mirror and look directly into your own eyes. Speak each phrase aloud with every ounce of emotion and conviction you possess. Repeat each phrase 3 times, the first to establish the thought, the second to deepen it, the third to speak it as established fact. Then remain quiet for 5 minutes. Do not plan or problem solve. Simply remain in quiet expectancy, knowing that the seeds you have planted are already germinating. Practice this without missing a single morning for 30 days. After 30 days, the ritual will feel natural. After 60 days, you will notice changes in your thinking. After 90 days, others will see the transformation in you. After 6 months, you will be a different man, not in your essential nature, but in your expression of it. The world is full of educated failures who know what to do, but do not do what they know. Do not join their ranks. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm 30 minutes earlier. Prepare your space tonight. Write out these 11 phrases until you have committed them to memory. Your entire life has been moving toward this moment of decision. Will you continue as before, hoping that somehow things will change on their own? Or will you take command of your own mind and create the change? The chains that have bound you to mediocrity are already beginning to loosen. Tomorrow morning you will speak the words that break them forever. Rise early, speak boldly, believe completely, act decisively, persist relentlessly. This is the way of those who transform their lives. You now know the secret. The only question that remains, will you use it?